I believe it's nothing less than a habit every time I get off the plane and breathe the thick, humid monsoon air as kerosene vapours fill my nostrils. To weep a little as soon as all these things engulf me. Sheer happiness when I get off the plane and feel like I'm home again. It is one of its many demonstrations, although scarce in a way. Indeed, the secret of happiness, you see, is not found in seeking more, but in developing the capacity to enjoy less. Still, it is more important to understand what happiness is before one can unravel its secret. Firstly, it is essential to know what we can understand by happiness. Happiness consists of two different sorts: that of a mental state, or a life that goes well for a person. Here, the first is a psychological matter regarding one's long-term contentment, and the second, a given value connected to life's fortunes. Therefore, I could apply my question to either, or even both of these matters, while both are essentially of a different kind. The pursuit of happiness could be the pursuit of well-being, or the pursuit of a life of fortune. Then, which one is more worthy of pursuit? It is important to mention that the pursuit of well-being is easier, as it takes on a more tangible and concrete form than fortune. However, strangely enough, both are closer than they appear. Here it is essential to pursue well-being, because fortune essentially consists of two parts: advancement and living in the moment. Life's finest days for us poor human beings fly first. Every day as it comes should be welcomed and reduced forthwith into our own possession, as if it were the finest day imaginable. What flies past has to be seized at. To seize the present, to be content with what is given, is to accumulate tiny achievements of well-being which can be looked back upon, small trophies of how far we've come. To be happy, to be content with the fortune that life has bestowed upon us, is to look back at these trophies, however small, and cherish them, see them for the plurality they constitute as a whole. But then it begs the question as to why Socrates, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius believe that happiness comes from within. Socrates believed happiness not to be an external reward, but rather that which comes from within, that is, internal success. Plato slightly altered this idea and believed it came from personal growth and satisfaction of achievements. Trophies, indeed. Hereby, the intrinsic value is less relevant, but rather the value that one as an individual attaches thereto. Seneca and Marcus Aurelius took a different approach, as a matter of fact, as they belonged to a different school of thought: Stoicism, a philosophy whereby the highest virtue is based on knowledge, to live in harmony with fate or ratio that governs nature, to live indifferently to the vicissitudes of fortune and to pleasure and pain. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this, you have the power to revoke at any moment. Lastly, why is happiness scarce? And why must one be able to enjoy less rather than seek more? It even seems paradoxical. To be unhappy is wrong. Thus, shouldn't we be happy all the time? Life isn't precisely suffering, nor is it pleasure. We often feel not. We exist. We do what we do. Then, occasionally, we might attach a certain value to a circumstance or action, which really depends on timing and context, causing us to regard a moment as either unhappy or happy. To define happiness, we need to be unhappy at times, but misfortune, nobly born, is good fortune. Even more importantly, happiness and sadness are part of life, as are abundance and scarcity. To enjoy either, one must appreciate the other. The more context we have, the more value we can obtain. Precisely, happiness is great, for it is scarce. So for me, to feel happiness every time I exit the aircraft requires me to appreciate how rarely I'm able to do so, whilst enjoying a certain sense of well-being or pleasure of being at that moment of reunification with my home. Although, to feel content with the fortunes of life, to feel long-term happiness, I must accumulate such brief moments of pleasure and well-being in order to feel as if I've achieved.